What happens when you're on the verge of greatness? But in a split second, this all comes crashing down. This is the question at the center of the Netflix series Go. This is the story about Bolt, a teenager who has a gift of running extremely fast, hence the nickname, resembling the well-renowned sprinter Usain Bolt. But he's quite literally and figuratively running away from something, because after a tragic accident, his world is thrown into chaos and he's left with an impossible choice to either protect his friend or to protect his future. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this has been a very long while since I've actually been this hyped up to watch something. I saw the promo for this series and then I saw the lead actor and then I was like, who is this? It's about to get hot in here. Actually, prior to this video I found out that he's a former athlete. Yes, I've been living under a rock. How embarrassing for those who are familiar with him, but he's definitely a rising star in the acting sphere, and what a breath of fresh air. The story on point, the cinematography on point, and the casting director also did a great job. They ate and they left no crumb. Of course, we have prior teen dramas, but I definitely love the fact that it focuses on a different perspective. It takes us into the world of sport. It has an element of suspense and thriller. I would also like to take out the time just to thank everybody who has subscribed. I appreciate you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed, please join in because more videos are coming. And if you did enjoy this video, please do not leave without hitting that like button, and please do engage with me in the comment section. With all of that said, let's get into it. The opening shot of the series is heard through a monologue delivered by Bolt, and he seems to be running from something that suggests that it's terrifying. And then it cuts to a series of snippets where we meet his brother Shuffle along with his mother, his girlfriend Intabi, and then a club scene that establishes his best friend Mandla. And then we are taken back in time before this incident actually takes place. He's re-established in the classroom, closing off this gut-wrenching monologue, which gave me goosebumps, and we'll get into it in a bit. And his reputation is so well known that Mandla makes him trend on social media and sets up a street race to make some money. And this attracts the attention of the people from the neighborhood, and amongst them is Coach Arendse. He goes up against a 4-man relay team and easily outruns them. But this does not sit well with them and they rob him of his winnings, which prompts Mandla to complain about the rough environment that they live in. At dinner, it is established that Mandla and his cousin, who turns out to be Intabi, stays alone due to their father's demanding work schedule. They also get an unexpected visit from the coach who we saw earlier on at the race. He trains a track team at the very prestigious school known as St. Jude's. At first, Shuffle is not very welcoming and he has his guard up, but it turns out that it's an innocent visit. It's actually an opportunity of a lifetime for his younger brother, as the coach offers him a scholarship to join their track team because he believes that he will be a very strong addition to the team. And of course, Bolt accepts this offer. Fast forward to the day before he starts at his new school. He was on the right track because he was sleeping, preparing himself for the new day. Unfortunately, Mandla calls him. He's like, what are you doing in bed? We are supposed to be out there celebrating your new beginning. Let's go out for a drink or two. Worst decision ever. Then they eventually go out and they party. Here, Mandla expresses his devotion. He even brags about Bolt's achievements to the other people there. And Tabi also expresses her worry about their relationship moving forward. There's a point that they have to leave and Tabi stayed behind. Here's where things go wrong. Mandla is wasted at this time, so there's no way that he's driving. So Bolt takes over the wheel. Unfortunately, Mandla kind of distracts him in a way, and then he doesn't even realize there's a passerby close by. And unfortunately, the accident happens and this claims this passerby's life. His name is Edwin. In a state of panic, shock, he calls his brother. He's like, what do I do? And his brother, being his brother, is like, go. He follows his brother's instruction and he leaves the scene. Even leaving, he implicates Mandla in return, but at this point he thinks Mandla is no more. There's a time where we see a flashback of the younger Bolt being in a similar situation with his father. They owned a store and there was a robbery taking place which also claimed his father's life, but before his father succumbed to the injuries, he actually told Bolt to go, get himself away from there, save himself. And he started running away from that time on. So you kind of see the literal and figurative meaning of his personal life as well as his literal talent. He has a bit of a rough start at his new school because the guilt is eating away at him to a point where it was affecting his performance, his focus. He's very distracted. So you kind of see him going through it. It's not like he went on with his life as if nothing happened. Also, it was a different ball game altogether because he comes into this professional space from what he knows, and then he also had to adapt to that. At some point also the coach seemed like he started to doubt his decision. The principal even suggests that he moves in with the sponsor for his scholarship's family because he has to wake up very early to get to school, and then he has to train, also do schoolwork. So they thought that maybe that was what was also affecting his performance, and so he had to move in with this new family. So when he arrived at this new house, it turns out that it's actually Edwin's family. Edwin's sister Gabby was not happy with his arrival there. She was just like, nah, don't think that you got the free ticket out of where you come from. They made it so worse with the fact that he moved into Edwin's room. It felt like he was replacing him and he was the new son in this family. Back to his friend. Luckily Mandla is alive and he's happy, and there's a time where he wants to confess, but his brother's like, what's done is done, we have to move forward now. And then throughout the series he literally just had to deal with that. I just felt sorry for Mandla. He didn't deserve this because he's taking the fall for something that he didn't even do. One thing that really stood out for me also was the dynamic between him and his mother and the matching hair. Oh my gosh. And then also I loved the dynamic that he also had with his girlfriend. I felt the chemistry between them. You could see that Shuffle would stop at nothing to keep everything a secret, and I believe that he will become one of those dangerous characters in the coming seasons. Hopefully we get more seasons because the build up to the cliffhanger was just a lot to handle, especially for Bolt. Things just didn't look good, and you kind of see the influence that his brother has in his life. On to the fun stuff. Going back to the opening sequence, when he's in the classroom, we see him from a distance, and as the monologue is closing off, the camera is moving closer towards him, and finally he breaks the fourth wall and he looks at us. I was like, oh my gosh, he's looking. This is just to showcase that he's aware of our presence, and also he's like addressing us to justify the decision that he ultimately makes. It really hit hard for me because he finds himself in this very impossible situation, and that's what makes this show so heartbreaking. I always find it very unsettling depending on the context when a character breaks the fourth wall. I don't know why, I never get used to it. They also do a great job at capturing the energy and intensity of his movements, and throughout the series you kind of see that the camera accompanies him to take us through his worldview. You see this first when he runs away from the crime scene. The camera moves away from him, and that indicates that it's an isolated incident and he's trying to escape from it. From there on, you'd start to see his face split between a light and a shadow. This showcases the fact that he's hiding something, which of course on a mental capacity he is. In some instances is to just showcase his vulnerability, or when he feels out of place, sometimes he's worried, and it's basically also trying to show that he's concealing something within himself. The building they lived in is always framed in a sense that it's kind of intimidating or it's very rough there, just to encompass everything that they've said about this place, as well as the impact that this place really has on them. The blonde hair also gelled in with the technical backdrop, even with the color coordination of the clothes he would wear or some objects, or even the lighting also added that extra element into the aesthetics. Props to the attention to detail. Throughout the show, we also saw how Bolt was really struggling. We saw it with the editing as well, where he would have illusions, dreams of Edwin, and seeing him in places where he wasn't. We saw opposing scenes when Mandla was taking a mugshot of being detained, while Bolt is taking a photo shoot with his team, showcasing contrasting ideals. Bolt is elevating, and the person who is innocent is taking up his place. I was just like, oh my gosh, this could literally happen to anyone. It just goes to show that we shouldn't necessarily take things for granted because life is so unpredictable. So I feel like it hit hard in that regard for me. All in all, the cinematography was the fun part for me personally. Let me know what you liked about this show in particular. I would really like to hear from you guys, and if you haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor and check it out. Thank you so much for being here once again. It's always a bliss to hang out with you guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, to like, to comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. From me to you, cheers for now.